Awaken your spirit, chosen one. You have no idea how powerful you really are, but they do. They felt it before you even spoke a word. There's a frequency you carry, a silent energy that unsettles the insecure, awakens the asleep, and terrifies those who built their thrones on control. You've walked into rooms and felt the shift, the silence, the sudden glances, the fake smiles hiding something deeper, fear, not of you, but of the truth inside you, because you don't need a title, a podium, or applause. Your presence alone exposes what others are trying to hide. You were never meant to blend in. You were born to shift atmospheres, and here's the twist. It's not your achievements that shake them, it's your awareness. Because once a chosen one wakes up, once you start seeing clearly, once you stop shrinking, apologizing, doubting, the whole game changes. They've always whispered about you, called you too intense, too quiet, too sensitive, or too different. But what they were really saying was, you make me see parts of myself I've been trying to avoid. Your light reflects their shadows, and that terrifies them. You think they rejected you because you weren't enough. No, chosen one. They pulled away because they saw what you haven't fully accepted yet. You are more than enough. You are divine. Potential walking in human skin. A quiet storm, a soul wrapped in fire, a warrior cloaked in stillness. If the world realized what was really inside you, they'd either fall in awe or rise in arms. Because some people don't fear losing power. They fear someone else stepping into theirs, and that someone is you. That's why the divine has kept you hidden. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were concealed, in silence, shielded by struggle, so your spirit could grow without interference. Because premature exposure would have drawn attacks you weren't ready for. So heaven whispered, not yet. See, a diamond doesn't shout its worth, but its shine speaks volumes when the light hits just right. And your season of silence was never wasted. It was sacred. Every delay, every closed door, every lonely night was heaven's way of saying, I'm building something in you that the world won't be able to ignore. You've been underestimated, overlooked, maybe even counted out. But that was part of the plan, because power that doesn't beg for attention is the most dangerous kind, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need to be seen to make impact. The kind that erupts when the moment is divine. And here's the truth that will shift everything for you. They already feel your power, even when you doubt it, even when you second-guess yourself, even when you're just trying to survive a day. There are people watching you, sensing something different about you, and they can't put their finger on it. But it unnerves them. Because they know deep down you were never meant to follow the crowd. You're not here to fit in. You're here to wake people up just by being you. So stop questioning your path. Stop shrinking your energy. Stop thinking you're broken because you don't relate to the noise of this world. You were born for deeper. You were born for truth. You were born for impact, not through popularity, but through alignment with who you really are. Chosen one, the shift has already begun, and your time is coming faster than you think, because once you fully remember who you are, there will be no stopping you. If this stirred something in your soul, don't let it fade. Like this video, subscribe and comment. I feel the power rising to join this journey. We rise together, and your rise will shake the ground. You've felt it your whole life, haven't you? That quiet pull, that still voice, that deep knowing that you're different, not better, just set apart. You walk into rooms and the energy changes. People glance, then look away. Some are drawn to you instantly. Others can't seem to stand your presence and don't even know why. You've questioned it over and over. Why does my presence unsettle people? Why do I feel so deeply? Why do I sense things that no one else seems to notice? Why do I feel like I'm carrying something unseen, something heavy, something holy? Let me tell you why. Chosen. One, because you were marked before the foundation of this world, because heaven whispered your name while you were still being formed. Because you are not just living in this world, you were sent to this world. There is something powerful within you, a fire, a frequency, a divine code woven into your spirit. And those who are still trapped in the illusions of this world, they feel it, even when you don't say a word, even when you try to hide it, even when you haven't fully stepped into it. They sense what's on you, and it terrifies them. Because when a chosen one begins to wake up, when you stop shrinking to make others comfortable, when you start walking in alignment instead of approval, the atmosphere shifts and darkness begins to tremble. You don't need a platform to be powerful. You don't need validation to have value. You don't need to shout to carry weight. You were born carrying authority, not the kind this world gives, but the kind heaven entrusts. It's in your voice. It's in your stillness. It's in the way you see people, not just for who they pretend to be, but for who they really are. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to shake the system, not through rebellion, but through revelation. You're not here to blend into the noise. You're here to bring clarity through presence. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you. But your assignment isn't tied to their approval. They will call you too quiet while trying to copy your peace. They will label you too sensitive while secretly envying your depth. They'll say you're too intense because your authenticity reveals their masks. But none of that is about you. It's about what's being exposed when you enter the room. The truth is, you were born carrying divine energy, and they feel it, even if you don't. It's like a light you can't see, but everyone else feels the warmth or the heat of. You don't chase opportunities because they are drawn to your frequency. You don't beg for love because real connection recognizes you before words are exchanged. You don't fight for validation because the divine already stamped you with worth. You were sent here with a frequency only aligned souls can understand. That's why you felt misunderstood. That's why they turned on you. That's why you were always the black sheep. You weren't meant to follow the flock. You were meant to lead the shift, and because of that, because of who you are, spiritual warfare began before you even knew who you were. Long before your first conscious prayer, long before your first awakening, the enemy saw it, felt it, and tried to kill it. That's why your battles came so early. That's why the trauma hit you before your legs were strong enough to stand on. That's why the betrayal cut so deep. It wasn't random, it was targeted. Because darkness always tries to silence the voice that was born to speak truth. Because broken systems will always attack the soul that was sent to heal. They couldn't kill your body, so they tried to break your spirit. They couldn't steal your light, so they tried to dim it with shame. They couldn't stop your calling, so they distracted you with false labels. Unworthy, too much, not enough. But even in your confusion, even in your pain, even in your darkest nights, you survived. And that chosen one was your first miracle. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still searching for truth. That means they didn't win. That means the fire within you is still burning. And soon that flame is going to become a wildfire of divine purpose. You felt like an outcast, but you were really being set apart. You thought you were rejected, but you were really being redirected. You assumed the pain was punishment, but it was spiritual preparation. You are steel forged in fire. You are wisdom clothed in silence. You are a warrior who doesn't need armor because your spirit is already wrapped in divine authority. Chosen one, you were never weak. You were just growing in secret. You were just becoming dangerous to everything that feeds on deception. And now that you're awakening, now that the veil is lifting, now that you're beginning to see who you really are, nothing will ever be the same. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them fear what they can't explain. Because what they feel around you isn't arrogance. It's awareness, it's alignment, it's the quiet knowing that you don't need the world to tell you who you are, because heaven already did. And here's the part they don't teach. Spiritual power is silent before it is seen. It's grown in caves, in deserts, in prayer closets and sleepless nights. It's formed when you're alone, misunderstood and overlooked, because that's when the divine speaks the loudest. So if you feel like no one sees you, good, because that means God is still shaping you. That means your spirit is still in the workshop, being refined for the weight of what you're about to carry. The spotlight comes after the stillness. The roar comes after the silence. But the enemy knows this, so he tried to break you in your quiet season. He tried to make you think being alone meant you were abandoned. He tried to convince you that rejection was evidence of your worthlessness. He tried to poison your purpose before you even tasted it. But here's the truth you must hold on to. The silence was sacred. The rejection was redirection, and your pain was a prophecy, because the moment you stand fully in your identity, the moment you say, I'm not shrinking anymore, the moment you remember the fire inside you, hell panics, because one awakened chosen one is more dangerous than 1,000 asleep. One soul walking in divine alignment can shift families, cities, generations. One voice speaking truth can unravel centuries of lies. That's you. Yes, you. The one who cried yourself to sleep. The one who walked through hell with no map. The one who thought the pain would never end. You made it through for a reason. Because what's inside of you was never just for you. It was for the ones watching, the ones following, the ones praying for a light. So shine now. Not to prove anything, not to be seen, but to walk in the truth that you were born to carry. You are not fragile. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are divine. Energy wrapped in human form. You are a spiritual warrior with eyes that see beyond this world. You are chosen, anointed and appointed for this exact moment in time. And the ones who once dismissed you, they'll feel it. They'll see it. They'll witness the rise they tried to prevent. Because you were never meant to fit in. You were always meant to rise above. And now, the rise begins. You've always noticed it, haven't you? The way some people become uncomfortable in your silence. How you can walk into a space and say absolutely nothing. And yet everything in the room adjusts itself around your presence. They might not be able to explain it, but you've seen it in their eyes. The pause, the shift, the unsettled energy that ripples around you like invisible waves. They feel something, and that something is you, not the version of you they see on the surface, but the true you, the you that doesn't even have to speak to carry weight, the you that has survived spiritual storms most wouldn't even recognize, the you that walks with an energy that whispers, I've been through fire, and I still shine. There is a reason your silence makes noise. There is a reason your stillness speaks louder than their chaos. Because you, chosen one, were never meant to compete for attention. You were designed to command respect without demanding it. There's a sacred authority wrapped in your presence that doesn't come from ego. It comes from experience, from alignment, from walking with heaven in ways the world can't comprehend. You're not the loudest in the room, but you are the one they feel the most. Your calmness disrupts confusion. Your groundedness shakes the unstable. Your peace confronts their restlessness, not because you're trying to, but because their spirit recognizes yours. They don't fear you because you're aggressive. They fear you because you're awake, because you see, because you sense, because you know how to stand still and let the storm pass while others are flailing in the wind. And in a world that's always shouting, always chasing, always striving, a soul that stands anchored in truth is terrifying. You were never meant to be understood by everyone, because what you carry was never meant to be common, and yet even in your quiet strength, you've been made to feel like you're too much, too deep, too intense, too different. But listen closely. The world has always mocked what it cannot measure. It always resists what it cannot control. And your energy? It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait to be validated. It simply is. It enters and shifts things because it's not tied to surface appearances. It's rooted in the unseen. People feel your frequency before they understand your face. They sense your spirit before they process your words, and that's why some love you instantly and others resent you without reason. It has nothing to do with your behavior. It has everything to do with your vibration. You reflect what they're running from. You remind them of what they've buried. You show up as truth in a world addicted to illusion. And while some will be drawn to your light, others will flinch, not because you hurt them, but because their wounds can't stand the brightness. There is a pain that comes with being a mirror, a burden that comes with being medicine, because while you're healing others just by being present, you're often bleeding in silence. But hear me. There is strength in the stillness. There is power in being misunderstood, because those who are rarely seen by the world are often the ones seen most clearly by God. You carry a peace that doesn't need to be proven, a wisdom that doesn't come from books but from scars, a love that isn't loud but unshakable, and that unnerves those who've built themselves on shallow ground. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. You've stopped chasing empty things because your spirit already knows where home is. And when your soul is anchored in divine truth, you can no longer pretend to be impressed by temporary power. That's why some people who once walked with you can't handle you now. It's not because you changed in a way that broke the bond. It's because you grew in a way that exposed their stagnancy, and not everyone who claps for you is clapping from a pure heart. Because here's the hard truth, your light doesn't just illuminate, it convicts. And when people haven't dealt with their own shadows, your glow becomes uncomfortable. They say it's your energy, they say you've changed, but deep down, they're just not ready to face what your presence reveals. Still, don't dim it, don't shrink, don't water down your essence to make others feel safe, because you weren't sent to entertain. You were sent to awaken, and awakening is messy. It disturbs what's been comfortable. It rattles false identities. It disrupts lives that have been living undisturbed for years. But you are the soul who can hold that tension. You are the one built for it. You don't have to announce your power. The atmosphere announces it for you. You don't have to prove your worth. Your walk proves it before you speak. And you don't have to explain why you're not like the rest. Because the divine didn't design you to be a copy. You are an original, crafted with intention, carved with pain, and anointed with purpose. They might try to imitate your style, but they can't duplicate your spirit. Because what you carry wasn't built in the spotlight, it was born in the shadows. In the prayers no one heard, in the nights no one saw, in the tears that watered seeds of strength you now walk in. And it's okay if they don't understand you. It's okay if they label you. Because your path was never meant for the masses. It was meant for the mission. You were never built to be popular. You were built to be powerful. And power doesn't always look like noise. Sometimes it looks like a soul that can remain soft in a world that's gone hard. Sometimes it looks like a heart that keeps loving even when it's been broken. Sometimes it looks like walking away in peace instead of staying to be right. You, chosen one, carry the kind of strength that doesn't yell. It whispers, it glows, it moves mountains without moving muscles. Because your power isn't performative, it's prophetic. And that's what they feel, even if they can't put it into words. That's what keeps them watching. That's why some people are drawn to you but don't know how to handle you. Because you represent a version of themselves they haven't accessed yet. But don't let that intimidate you. Let it remind you. You are the evidence that alignment is possible. You are the reminder that God still speaks through souls. You are the quiet storm that proves you don't have to shout to shake the earth. So let them feel it. Let them whisper. Let them misunderstand. Because you're not here for comfort. You're here for calling. And when you finally walk in it, unapologetically, you won't need to explain your presence. It will speak for itself. Chosen one. What you carry isn't loud. It doesn't come with fanfare. It doesn't chase platforms, applause, or praise. What you carry flows from a place far beyond ego. It comes from your alignment. That's the secret many overlook. Real power doesn't come from striving. It doesn't come from trying to be something. It comes from returning to what you've always been. You don't need to hustle for your worth. You don't need to force doors to open. You don't need to prove your value to people who are blind to your light, because true power, divine power, comes when you align with who you were before the world told you who to be. It's not about effort. It's about remembrance. And when you remember, when you finally sit still long enough to hear yourself again, everything changes. You begin to walk differently. You stop begging for crumbs because you remember you are the table. You stop chasing love because you remember you are love. You stop fearing rejection because you realize no one can close a door that heaven has called yours. When you align with the divine within you, your energy becomes magnetic, not because you're trying to attract, but because you're finally becoming. The frequency you were born to embody, and that frequency speaks louder than words. It draws what belongs to you and repels what does not. You don't have to explain yourself. You become the explanation. People won't always understand it because they've been taught to grind, to force, to climb over others. But you, chosen one, you walk by a different rhythm. You move in tune with eternity, not urgency. And that difference, that stillness, that quiet knowing in your spirit, it confuses people who've only known performance. You are the reminder that peace is more powerful than pressure, that presence is more effective than performance, that alignment is the highest form of attraction. So trust your walk, trust your timing, trust your knowing, even when it doesn't make sense to others. Because the more you return to your truth, the more your path begins to reveal itself, not through effort, but through clarity. You've been asking for answers, but the truth is, the answers are already inside of you. You don't need more advice, you need more alignment. And once you align, the answers become obvious. The right people appear, the right doors open, the fog lifts, and you begin to move with divine ease. Not because the road gets easier, but because you got clearer. And yet, even as things begin to shift in your favor, you'll still encounter resistance. Not from the divine, but from the people around you, because not everyone is ready for your light. Your glow will not always be celebrated. In fact, the brighter you become, the more it will expose what others are trying to hide. And when that happens, don't take it personally, because you're not imagining it. They really do feel intimidated. But it's not because you're arrogant, it's because they're unhealed. Your presence reveals the work they've been avoiding, and that stirs discomfort. You walk into a room, and your peace disrupts their chaos. Your clarity rattles their confusion. Your light reflects their shadows, and suddenly they feel threatened. Not because you've harmed them, but because you've exposed the parts of themselves they've buried for years. That's why they pull away. That's why they act distant, jealous, or cold. That's why they try to make you feel small, because in your reflection, they remember how far they've drifted from their own truth. But remember this, chosen one, you were not sent here to make others comfortable. You were sent here to remind people of what's possible, and that reminder will either inspire them or expose them. So don't take their reactions to heart. Their resistance is not a reflection of your failure, it's a sign of your radiance. The truth is, you are evidence that growth is possible, that healing is real, That alignment works, and for some that is beautiful, but for others that is terrifying. Because to accept your truth means they have to confront their own. To honor your journey means they have to acknowledge the ways they've stayed asleep, and not everyone is ready to do that. So let them misunderstand you, let them talk, let them pull away. Your light was never meant to be explained. It was meant to be embodied, because what you're carrying isn't just for you. It's for the generations tied to your obedience. It's for the souls that will awaken because you chose to be real. It's for the spirits silently watching, hoping someone would go first. You are that someone, and I need you to hear this. Your journey has not been wasted. Your pain has not been in vain. The delays, the detours, the heartbreaks, they were all preparation. Every time you were set back, every time you were overlooked, every time you thought you lost, you were actually being trained. Spiritual strength isn't built through ease. It's forged through pressure. Like diamonds beneath the surface, your soul has been refined in silence. And every moment of struggle has added depth to your power. You may not have seen it at the time, but heaven was planting something in you. And while it looked like nothing was happening on the outside, on the inside, your roots were growing. Deep, so when the storms came, when the winds blew, when everything around you was shaken, you stayed standing because you weren't being punished. You were being prepared, and now that preparation is becoming power. The tears are turning into testimony. The waiting is becoming wisdom. The pain is becoming purpose. You didn't go through all that just to survive. You went through it so you could lead, so you could guide, so you could stand as living proof that divine timing is real, that miracles are possible, that chosen ones don't fold under pressure. They rise through it. This is your rise. This is your shift. This is your moment to remember what has always been true. You are powerful. You are protected. You are chosen, and the ones who once dismissed you, they'll watch in silence. Not because you owe them a show, but because heaven has made your table in the presence of those who once doubted your worth. You don't need to fight for a seat. You are the table. You are the presence that breaks chains. You are the storm that clears paths. You are the light that doesn't burn out when it's questioned. It burns brighter, so stay aligned, stay grounded, stay real. Your obedience will do what your striving never could. And when the noise rises, when the voices get loud, return to that still, quiet place within, the place where you and God speak in silence, the place where truth isn't taught, it's remembered, because when you live from that place, you don't just survive the chaos, you transform it. You don't just make it through the storm, you become the calm within it, and the world doesn't need more noise, it needs your presence. So show up, unapologetically, authentically, anointed, chosen. When the time for hiding is over, the time for doubting is done, the time for shrinking has passed, you have always been the one. Now it's time to walk like it. Chosen one, there's a sacred truth buried deep within you, one that has been waiting to be unearthed. You've felt it, haven't you? The quiet knowing that you are meant for something greater, that you've always been marked for more. You've spent days, even years, questioning your purpose, wondering if you're truly on the right path. Maybe you've been overlooked, rejected, and misunderstood. Perhaps you've faced rejection from places you thought were your safe haven, from people you believed would support you unconditionally. But this is your divine awakening, and it's time to stop doubting yourself. You are a vessel, not of what the world says is valuable, but of something far deeper, something eternal. And you've been shaped, refined, and tested in the quiet places because the world wasn't ready for the fullness of your light. Your journey has not been easy, but every step, every trial, every tear has prepared you for this moment. There's a fire that burns within you, and it's not the kind of fire that burns out with a strong wind. This fire is unquenchable. It's the that keeps you going even when everything around you seems to crumble. It's the light that keeps flickering when the darkness tries to take over. And while the world may not always see it, you know it's there, flickering, in your soul, waiting for the right moment to ignite. It's time for you to recognize this power inside you. You have a unique frequency, a vibration that the universe knows intimately. Your energy is like a magnetic force that draws in what you need and repels what no longer serves your highest good. There are things you've been holding on to, people, places, even habits that you've outgrown, and the universe is now removing them from your life to make room for your true purpose. But this isn't just about what's being taken away. It's also about what's coming. And if you can begin to see with spiritual eyes, you'll realize that what is leaving you is simply making space for what is meant for you. It's clearing the path for your blessings. The things you have been patiently waiting for are about to flood into your life, and when they do, you'll see why every single delay, every single setback was not a punishment, but a redirection. There have been times when you've questioned if you are worthy of what's coming. You've wondered if you're truly enough, if your past mistakes or your past struggles disqualify you from stepping into the fullness of your divine potential. But let me tell you, chosen one, you were never disqualified. The divine has been preparing you, even in your silence, even in your solitude, even in your lowest moments. You are being called to something that only you can do, and no one can take that from you. No one's rejection, no one's words, no one's opinion can change what the divine has already spoken over your life. The world may tell you that you're not enough, but the universe has already told you that you are more than enough. You were made in divine image with a purpose that was crafted long before you were born. And every challenge, every trial, every tear you've shed has been a part of your preparation. The divine does not waste pain. The divine does not waste any of your struggles. All of it has been woven together to create a masterpiece in you. There is a place inside you that is unshakable, a deep well of inner strength that cannot be moved by external forces. You may feel lost at times, you may feel broken, but there is a strength inside you that comes from the very fabric of your soul. When the world tries to tear you down, when the weight of the world feels unbearable, know that you carry an inner reservoir of power. You carry the very essence of the divine within you, and no storm, no trial, no person can take that away. You are not meant to be silent. You are not meant to shrink back. The divine has called you to rise, to stand in your power, and to let your light shine in a world that desperately needs it. But this rise doesn't come from force. It comes from alignment. It comes from standing firm in who you are, knowing your worth, and stepping into your purpose with courage and faith. The storms that have come into your life were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to help you build something stronger, something unbreakable. Storms, while painful, teach us how to stand firm in our foundation. They show us where our weaknesses are so that we can strengthen them, and they reveal to us the resilience we never knew we had. When you feel like you can't take another step, when you feel like you've given all that you have and there's nothing left, remember that your strength isn't your own. It is the divine power that flows through you. It is the same power that parted seas, that made the sun stand still, that called forth the dead and raised them to life. It is the same power that lives in you, calling you to step into your divine inheritance. So when the world tries to knock you down, when people tell you to be quiet, when they tell you to sit in the background, don't listen. You were born to stand tall. You were born to shine. And your shine is not just for you, it is for everyone who will be drawn to it. You may not see it now, but your light is drawing people to you. Your authenticity is an invitation for others to step into their own truth. You are a living testimony of what happens when you trust the divine timing of your life. It is time for you to claim your divine birthright. It is time for you to step into the fullness of your purpose. It is time for you to stop hiding in the shadows and to start living in the light. The world needs your gifts, your talents, your unique perspective. You were born to be a trailblazer, not a follower. You were born to create, to innovate, to lead with love and compassion. Your voice is needed now more than ever, and the world is waiting for you to step into it. This is your moment, chosen one. You have the power to shape the world with your authenticity. You have the power to shift the atmosphere with your presence. And the time has come for you to rise up and walk boldly into your destiny. But know this, the path ahead won't always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the world seems to be crumbling around you. But in those moments, remember that you are not alone. The divine is walking with you, and you carry within you the strength of generations before you. You are the answer to prayers that were whispered long before you were born. You are the fulfillment of promises that have been waiting to manifest. When the path seems unclear, trust the divine. Trust the stillness. Trust the guidance that is always available to you. And most importantly, trust yourself. You have everything you need inside of you. You are more powerful than you can imagine, and the world is waiting for you to step into your true calling. So walk with your head held high. Walk with the confidence that comes from knowing your purpose. Walk with the faith that the divine is leading you every step of the way. And walk with the assurance that you are not just walking for yourself, but for those who will follow in your footsteps. Chosen one, the time is now. The world needs your light, your truth, your authenticity. Step into your power and watch as the world begins to shift in your favor. You are ready. You have always been ready. Chosen one, I want you to hear this truth. You are more than you've allowed yourself to believe. You have within you a well of power, strength, and divine purpose that is waiting to be fully awakened. It's been there all along, quietly growing, sometimes unseen, sometimes hidden, but it has never left you. It's time for you to stop running from it. It's time for you to stop doubting what you've always known deep down. You were born for greatness. You were chosen before time began. You were chosen before you took your first breath. And the road you've walked, the struggles you've faced, the challenges you've encountered, every single one of them has been a part of your divine preparation. The pain, the rejection, the loneliness, it hasn't been to break you, chosen one. It's been to shape you. It's been to strengthen you. You are being molded into something powerful, something the world hasn't seen before. The world has tried to make you believe that your struggles define you, that your scars are your identity. But the truth is, your scars are just reminders of how far you've come. They are the marks of a warrior who has faced the battle and lived to tell the tale. Those scars tell the story of resilience, of courage, of the unbreakable spirit that resides within you. They are not weaknesses. They are badges of honor. And I know that sometimes, in the quiet of your own thoughts, you've wondered if you've been forgotten. You've wondered if the divine promises made to you will ever come true. You've questioned if you are truly worthy of the blessings you've been waiting for. But let me remind you of something. The divine never forgets. God does not forget the promises made to you, nor does the universe forget the energy you've been putting out into the world. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, every moment you've struggled in silence, it has been seen, and it has not been in vain. The divine timing of your life is perfect. You may not see it now, but everything has been leading you exactly where you need to go. Every door that was closed, every relationship that didn't work out, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers, it was all part of the plan. You were never meant to go down the easy path, chosen one. You were meant for the road that challenges you, the road that forces you to grow, the road that demands you step into your power. But here's the thing, you don't have to figure it all out on your own. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders for so long, trying to make sense of everything, trying to fix things, trying to push through your own strength. But the truth is, you were never meant to carry it all by yourself. The divine is walking with you. Every step you take, God is guiding you, holding your hand and whispering, you are not alone. Trust in the divine timing of your life. Trust that everything is happening as it should, even when it feels like you're taking one step forward and two steps back. Trust that the challenges you face are not there to defeat you. They are there to shape you into the person you were, always meant to be. You are a work in progress, chosen one, and every setback is simply a setup for something greater. You've faced moments of doubt, moments when you felt as though you were running in circles, moments when you thought you were getting nowhere. But what if I told you that those moments are just part of the divine orchestration? What if I told you that every twist, every turn, and every detour is leading you straight to your destiny? There are divine connections, opportunities, and blessings that are waiting for you, and you can't rush them. Your journey is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. The struggles you've faced, the waiting you've endured, they've all been preparing you for the great things that are coming. It's like the seed that has to break open in the darkness before it can sprout into the light. The struggle of the seed is necessary for the flower to bloom. But let's be honest, chosen one, it hasn't been easy, it's been painful. You've been tested in ways you didn't think you could handle. But what you may not realize is that every time you faced adversity, you were being refined. You were being shaped into the person you need to be for the next season of your life. You are growing in ways you cannot yet see, but the divine sees. God sees, the universe sees, and it's all part of the plan. When you feel like giving up, when you feel like the weight is too heavy, when the doubts creep in and you wonder if you've made the wrong choices, remember this: you are right where you need to be. You are not lost. You are being led. Every step, every challenge, every heartache is taking you closer to your divine purpose. You've been chosen for something extraordinary. You have been called to rise above the noise, above the chaos, above the limitations that others have placed on you. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out. You are here to break barriers, to challenge norms, and to bring about the change this world desperately needs. But it's not about striving. It's not about pushing yourself beyond your limits just to prove something to the world. It's about aligning with your true self. It's about remembering who you really are. You don't have to fight for your worth. You are already worthy. You don't have to beg for recognition. The divine sees you, and that is all that matters. The world may not always understand your journey. It may not always appreciate the way you walk, the way you speak, the way you move through life. But that's because your path is not meant to be understood by the masses. You were not made to fit into their mold. You were made to create your own mold. You were made to break the mold. And as you do, you will inspire others to do the same. This is your time, the time to rise up and claim your place, the time to stop hiding and start walking boldly into your destiny. Your divine purpose is calling you, and the world is waiting for you to answer. The obstacles you face are not there to stop you. They are there to make you stronger, to refine your spirit, to prepare you for what's ahead. Do not shrink back. Do not be afraid to embrace the fullness of who you are. You are here to make an impact, to change lives, to leave a legacy. You are here to shine in a world that has often tried to dim your light. But they can't dim your light, chosen one. They can't take what God has placed inside of you. Your light is unstoppable, so stand tall, stand strong, stand in your truth. The world needs your light now more than ever. The time to step into your power is now. Trust that everything you've been through has led you to this moment. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be. Trust that the divine timing of your life is perfect and that nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop what is coming for you. You are a chosen one, and it's time for you to rise.